Welcome back for part 2 of We Know Better. Let's get started. This time, we'll continue talking about risky behaviors, decisions, and the brain. Now let's talk about the brain. The frontal lobe is the part of the brain where we make decisions, thinking, and personality. The limbic system is the pleasure center of the brain designed to reward our natural behaviors by releasing chemicals in our brain. It's also called the dog or lizard brain because we share this part with all animals. Dopamine is a naturally occurring feel-good chemical. If you feel good, that means dopamine has been released. Examples of dopamine release include good food, positive human contact, music, and achievement. Think about what makes you happiest or makes you feel the best. What about you, Miss Pat?
I like playing with my dog. That feels good, makes me happy.
Good. Playing with your dog is an example of earning the dopamine that is being released in the brain. We earn dopamine by doing things that help ensure our survival, like keeping us happy, making healthy decisions. Transporters in the brain release dopamine and receptors catch it. So now we're going to perform an example of how our brain rewards us with dopamine. The bubbles will represent dopamine. Every time I caught a bubble with my hand was representing the receptors in your brain. When receptors are filled, the brain sends signals that make us feel good. Risky behavior. Something you do that may result in a bad consequence. Some people trick their brain's natural system to feel good by doing risky behaviors such as alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, and gambling. This is cheating because it causes the brain to release 2 to 10 times more dopamine that we can earn naturally. People respond to risky behaviors differently. For some, alcohol is their thing. For others, alcohol does not make them feel wonderful, but maybe gambling or video games do. When this happens, our amazing brain will respond by immediately creating more receptors. Thus, you feel better than you've ever felt before.
It is very difficult to stay balanced while engaging in risky behaviors. Most suffer negative consequences, which make them stop risky behavior. People who either don't have negative consequences or don't stop because of them are at much higher risk of addiction. What is tolerance? Tolerance is the need for more and more of a substance or activity to get the same satisfaction or high, which still never seems to be enough.
So why study gambling? What do alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, and gambling have in common? They're all addictive. The younger you start, the more likely you are to become addicted to gambling, alcohol, or other drugs. Most teens don't gamble. About 4% of adolescents have a gambling problem, and 10% are at risk of developing a gambling problem. So it's very important that we talk about these things. Addiction is a disease of the brain caused by risky behaviors. Behavior controls you when you're addicted. It hurts your quality of life and yourself and others. A person can't control their behavior because their brain is calling for them to do the risky behavior. So how do we keep our brains healthy? Balance. If you're concerned about a behavior becoming risky, you can ask for help, pay attention to how you're feeling, limit your use of that activity, and find a new activity. Now we'll talk more about decisions. Let's talk about why it's important to make good decisions and learn the steps to do that. We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us. A decision is something that someone chooses or makes up their mind about after considering it and other possible choices. Now we're going to practice decision making with a game of Would You Rather. Would you rather ride a roller coaster or a boat? Would you rather be able to swim without breathing or be able to fly? Would you rather be a dog or a cat? Would you rather go to the doctor or the dentist? Would you rather have chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Would you rather eliminate hunger and disease or achieve world peace? Making good decisions takes practice. We can use this SOAR as a way to help us.
SOAR stands for S, to state the problem clearly, O for options, to list all the possible solution options, A is for action, choose the best option and put it into action, and R means review, rest, or restart. Review your results, rest if the decision worked, and restart if it did not.
Sometimes every second counts. Practicing these steps will make you better at making good decisions, but there will be times when you just don't have enough time to do the SOAR steps. Like when you play rock, paper, scissors. So, the sunlight test is a quick tool you can use. Before you make a decision, think of a beam of sunlight shining on you that allows people who are important to you to observe your actions. What would you do if everyone you loved and respected were able to watch your actions and know what you were doing? Would you be proud of your choices? Use the sunlight test when you're making decisions and don't have enough time to SOAR. Risky ripples. So now let's practice thinking about risky behavior. I want you to choose one, either gambling, using alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs. Then, on your paper, list 3 ripple effects that could happen. The ripples could be the impact on the person doing the behavior, could be an impact on your school or people in your community, or it could be an impact on how you feel this day. So write down on your paper 3 ripple effects. Positive ripples are made by stepping up for yourself and another person. Resiliency. When we talk about resiliency, we want you to feel empowered and have the tools to help you understand yourself in relation to risky behaviors. Resiliency is the ability to bounce back and be flexible.
In what areas of your life will being more resilient help you?
Thanks for sharing, friends. Now, we're going to tell you a short story of the island of Kauai. Once upon a time, on an island in the South Pacific, Dr. Emily Werner came to study all the babies who were born in 1 year. She looked at their families and saw that many of them were very poor, single parents who used alcohol, other drugs, or gambled, and had other things in their lives that made their lives and the lives of their children more difficult. Dr. Werner was sure the children who were born into this difficult situation would grow up to be people who had lives that were just as hard or even more difficult than their parents' lives. But as she watched these children grow, she found that 1/3 of the children had wonderful lives. They did not get involved with drugs and alcohol or gambling. They made a good living, and when a hurricane came, it was these children who took the steps necessary to weather the storm. At this point, Dr. Werner changed her study to find out what made these children resilient. Children who were resilient and successful had at least 1 to 3 adults in their lives, other than their parents, who they trusted and who they could go to for help. So now it's time for our next activity. On your paper, write down 3 adults you might want to get more involved in your life. This could be aunts, uncles, grandparents, teachers, coaches, or scout leaders. The children on the island of Kauai who were resilient were involved in outside activities. So on your paper, write 3 new activities you might want to try out. What activities might you want to try out, Miss Pat?
I might like to learn how to speak Spanish.
I've been trying to paint more. Lastly, the children of Kauai who were resilient also had friends who were making good decisions. They stayed away from drugs and risky behavior. Most students your age are not engaging in alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, and gambling. About 90% are not. So now, write down 3 people you might like to get to know better. Each person has the power of choice and the ability to guide their own path. We want you to keep this paper where you can see it often and to try the new things on the list. That's all for now, friends. Join us back here soon for our next video on tips for refusal.